Hi, I'm Christian Triola, author of the Missing Method for Guitar books, including Guitar Chord Master, which we'll be using today in this video, which will show you how to play the song Count on Me by Bruno Mars. So to start off, we're going to take a look at the song structure. So first off, like many pop tunes, it has an introduction, followed by the verse, followed by a pre-chorus, then the chorus, and then that whole thing repeats from verse, pre-chorus, chorus. Then it goes into a bridge, and then finally ends with a final chorus. And that's all the parts to the song. So let's start off with the very first section, the introduction. Now the introduction is really easy to play. It's only 4 measures long, and it uses just one chord. And that chord is C major. Now in Guitar Chord Master, you can find that on page 18. You can also take a look at it in the PDF that's below. Or I'm going to show you right now how to do it. So here we go. We have C major. So we start off with the first string is open. Second string, you press down at the first fret with the first finger. The third string is open. Then you play fourth string, second fret. Then on the fifth string, you grab the third fret. You don't play the thickest string on C major, and then you'd strum. So that's the chord that you play in the introduction, and then that continues on into the verse. Now the strum pattern, once you learn it, we're just going to keep that strum pattern through the whole song. So here's what the strum pattern sounds like. We have down, 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 up, down, up. Or in traditional terms, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. Or, as you might have learned it in school, ta, ta, ti, 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 ti. Whichever way works for you, that's how you want to remember it. Okay, so we do that 4 times with the C chord to get the introduction. So it sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you might have noticed that when I played the 8th notes, it wasn't a strict down, up, down, up. I had kind of that kind of feel. That's called a swing feel. So we're playing those 8th notes as swing 8th notes, which means the first one is long, the second one is shorter than a usual 8th note. So we have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So it's a different feel from regular 8th notes, which would be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So that's a big difference there. And you can hear that in the song when they're strumming along. So let me play that intro one more time now that you know about these swing 8th notes. So here we go. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, and that's the intro. So let's go ahead and move along to the verse. The first thing we'll do is again look at the chords. The first chord in the verse is still C major, so you don't have to change anything. And that C major is played for 2 more full measures, meaning down, 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 up, and then again, down, 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 up. And then finally, we get to change to our next chord. That next chord is E minor. E minor is a fairly easy chord to play, and it's found on page 12 in Guitar Chord Master 1. But if you don't know it, it's in the PDF, and I'll show you. So here we go. E minor, the first 3 strings are all open. The 4th string, you press down at the 2nd fret. The 5th string, you press down at the 2nd fret, and that's it. Then you strum all the strings, and we're going to continue with that same strum pattern of down, 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 up. So I'm just going to play that part of the verse section so you can hear that. Again, it's with swing 8th notes. I played it a little slowly there just so you could hear that chord change. So next up we have the A minor chord. So A minor is similar to C, but with 1 note different. And so we have the first finger at the 2nd string, 1st fret, just like C. However, the next string, the 3rd string, you put your 3rd finger down at the 2nd fret, and then the middle finger goes down on the 2nd fret of the 4th string. So that leaves the 5th string open. So you play from the 5th string all the way down. And again, you use the same strum pattern. But this time, the A minor is only played for one measure. After that, it changes to the G chord right away. So the G chord is also found in Guitar Chord Master, and that's found on page 12 as well. So we're going to play the G with the third finger on the first string, the middle finger on the last string, also third fret, and then the first finger on the fifth string, second fret, like that. And then you would strum that for only one measure as well. So the A minor and the G only get one measure. And then finally, the last chord that we're going to learn for the verse section is F. And that's a good one to practice because for a lot of people, it's a tough chord to get. In fact, for beginners, it's a tough chord to get. So to get the F chord, you can see I've already kind of grabbed it unconsciously there. We have the first finger on the first two strings, first fret. So it's barring that or holding them both down. The middle finger goes down on the second fret of the third string, and then finally the third finger goes down on the note F, which is on the fourth string, third fret. That chord is found on page 57 of Guitar Chord Master. So here's what it sounds like. And when you strum that, you use the same strum pattern, and it lasts for 2 measures long. So now that we have all the information we need to play the verse, I'm going to go ahead and do that now. So here we go. We have the verse on Count on Me. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then that whole thing repeats. So you play that twice. So I'm going to go ahead and play it one more time here so you can hear the whole verse. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, and that's the verse. So next up, we have the pre-chorus, which introduces a new chord for us. And that chord is D minor. And D minor is found on page 44 of Guitar Chord Master. But here's what it looks like. We have our first finger on the first string, first fret, the third finger on the third fret of the second string, so it's a bit of a stretch there, and then the middle finger goes on the second fret of string number 3. Then you strum only 4 strings. You start with that D string and strum through it like that. All right, so the strum pattern remains the same. So we're going to strum that the same way we did as the intro and the verse. Then we're going to switch chords, and the next chord is E minor. So we already went over that one in the last section. So we go from D minor for 2 measures, E minor for 2 measures. Then we switch to the F chord for 2 measures as well, same F as you saw in the verse section. And then we have a G chord on the end. And this is the only time in the song where the strum pattern changes, but it's even easier to play. Instead of strumming the G over and over again, you strum it once, and then you hold that out for the entire section. So I'm going to play through the whole pre-chorus so you can hear that, starting on the D minor. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it goes into the chorus, which is obviously the most recognizable part of the whole song. So let's get to that chorus next. All right, so here's some good news about the chorus. You already know how to play it. It's the same as the verse. The only difference is that it is strummed through 3 times instead of 2 times like it is on the verse section. So I'm going to go ahead and just strum through the whole chorus, playing that section 3 times in a row, so that you can hear it. And each time I start it over, I'll announce it so you can kind of follow along here. So here we go. We start with the C major chord, just like the song starts with. All right, so here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. there you go. And that is the whole chorus. Now after that chorus, it goes back into the verse, plays the chorus again, and then we come to our next section, which is the bridge. So the bridge is a lot like the pre-chorus, but it has one change that makes it a little bit more interesting. So let's talk about that. First, it starts off with the D minor, just like the pre-chorus. Then it goes to E minor, just like the pre-chorus. Then it goes to A minor, which is a little bit different because in the pre-chorus, we go to F at that point instead. So that's the main difference, is that A minor chord that comes after the E minor. But then after that, we go to G, just like we would on the pre-chorus. So after you play that, it repeats, but it does change. Instead of going to that A minor chord like it did originally, it doesn't do that anymore. So the second half of the bridge starts off with D minor, goes to E minor just like it had before, but instead of going to A minor, it goes to F, much like the pre-chorus does. And then finally ends on G, and then the end of the song after that is simply the verse. So I'm going to go ahead and play through the bridge section so you can follow along. So here's what it sounds like. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. And there you go. Then after that, it simply repeats the chorus section again 3 times, and then it brings you to the end of the song. All right, so to finish this off, I'm going to play through the whole thing so you can hear what it sounds like all together. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. right, so that's the whole song from beginning to end. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you were able to learn a lot from that. And make sure you like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. So thank you.